Okay, today's video is going to be about loading screens. No, just kidding. It's actually going to be about the assassin this time. The assassin's funny because it's like the opposite of the sorcerer. It's very complicated. You need to be an advanced gamer. You've got to be pretty coordinated to play an assassin well. The amount of effort and coordination and timing, hitting a bunch of different abilities, you've got to be pretty good at it. You've got to really memorize it, work on your rotation, probably practice outside of PvP. I don't play my assassin very much. I got into 51 pretty much mostly PvE. That's your stance basically for that particular tree. It's huge as far as a part of your damage. It's probably after maul, which is basically backstab. Static charges are going to be a big part of your damage, both passively and actively. What makes this class complicated to me isn't that, well, let's do the basics. If you want to start out by doing some decent damage, by around mid-level, your maul is going to get a bonus every time you do direct damage. It's on a short cooldown, but it's just a few seconds, 10 seconds maybe. It's on a short cooldown, but every time you do direct damage, it lowers the force cost of maul by 75% and increases the damage by 20%. It's the ability is called duplicity. The way you proc or activate duplicity is you've got several direct damage attacks. Whatever does damage immediately is going to proc it. The best way to proc it, I find, is using force slow. Force slow starts out by doing some direct damage, not a moderate amount, and it lowers the movement speed of your target, which is huge when you're running around trying to backstab somebody and just stay in melee range. So that combination is that's like the beginner's combination for this build. You want to use force slow, let it proc duplicity. When your maul icon lights up, that means duplicity's up. You're going to get a lower force cost, which means more backstabs, and you're going to get a bigger initial backstab. Now, what makes this class complicated is the stance. Static charges, voltaic slash can add to them. The charges build as you do damage and execute attacks. At 3 charges, it's at maximum strength. Then you hit discharge, which is an active ability. There's an icon for discharge. You hit discharge and you unload all charges of static charge, and it's the second most damage you're going to unload after the assassinate ability. So it's huge, and it's not easy for me. And to me, relative to the sorcerer or a lot of the range classes, the complexity and knowing the right rotation, the situation, it's pretty difficult, especially when things get really hairy. When you're in melee range and there's all these explosions and lasers and people flying around in close proximity to you, it's really challenging to stick to your rotation and to keep targeted, to keep your target lined up in front of you. So anyway, you're gonna be able to tell I don't have much practice doing this. I'm not claiming to be very good. I mean, I'm okay. I'm just not very good. I'm not. There's guys who are much better at it, and probably would try to act like it's not very hard, but to me it is. It's the gamer's build / class build. To me, the Assassin and Jedi Shadow, they are, to me, the most difficult classes to play well. This guy, you're out here hunting, you're in stealth mode, This is a perfect situation for me. I'm supposed to take this guy down quickly. As you can see, it's not as easy as all that. He starts backing up, a bunch of his buddies show up, and he goes from being low on life to in great position to make my life miserable. So I duck out of there, which is, I use my get out of jail free card here. And ultimately, it doesn't help me too much. But that's basically, that little sequence there in a nutshell is the way it works for the assassin. You go in as stealth, you pick your target from a distance, you start planning your moves, and hope it goes well. And like here, see, I keep running into these big groups, and it's just not a good situation to be in. I wish, over stealth, I'd rather have something that projects like a double image of me or something. Something to take the guns that are pointed at me off of me. Because once you go out of invis, you're totally exposed. Here again, you know, I have a target lined out, but his buddies are there and you don't really have a chance. Obviously that goes for any class in that situation, but it's a bit frustrating because it's hard to just stand around and wait for the perfect opportunity to present itself. If you want to survive, you've got good survivability. You don't have any heals, really. I mean, you've got one overcharged saber, heals you a little bit, but apart from your potions and whatnot, you're pretty much stuck not being able to heal very well. I'm using Voltaic Slash here when what I'm supposed to be doing is hitting force slow and then backstabbing the crap out of him. And see, my buddy here is trying to help, but it didn't really help very much. He's going to go down. Yeah, he's down. This guy, the sniper, seems to be unbeatable. I'm not bothering him right now. This guy's trying to cap. I don't want him doing it. Nice crit. 7,700 damage. Yes. Now my life is gradually going down because I'm in the middle of all these explosions and in range of everybody. I want to kill this Sork really bad. Backstab. Yes. That's what makes this class satisfying, is when you get into backstab and you can just backstab repeatedly. Just bam, bam, bam. And you see the big crits and it's like, yes. That's when it's fun. These Jedi just drive me crazy though. It seems like they're either shielded or healing themselves for large amounts. And I'm not sure mechanically how that works. I haven't played one enough. I would hope they're playing some type of defensive build to be able to keep shielding and taking care of themselves the way they do, healing up. I don't know, but it drives me crazy. I've messed with those guys enough. You almost want to just put them on ignore. So yeah, here I'm going over here. This is another situation that just gets jacked up. Luckily, somebody's here to interrupt the cap because I'm not going to be much good. I should have gone in Viz before I started this whole bit. I started out pretty good, but then my teammate here, I don't know what he's doing. I hope a lot of damage because those two just took me down quick. Yeah, if you let snipers get set up on a node like that node, two snipers there, it can make it very miserable for anybody. Even, I mean, well outnumbered, like, 4-2, half of the team or more, trying to take down two snipers. They're not going to let you get in because they've got stealth detection. They've got ways to immobilize you from long range. I mean, and they're going to hit you hard before you get very close to them. If they're focus fighting, you're really in trouble. But yeah, this is pretty good because there's a nice spread of bad guys. Until now, that quickly changes as my whole team decides to leave, I guess. duck around a corner while I get hosed.
Enemy taking fire.
Okay, here we go, guys. Trying to cap again. I love it. 7,900 backstab. Trying to line of sight here a little bit. On a sniper who looks like a merc. So yeah, I mean, I'm dying a lot, and you know, you shouldn't be dying much or as much because you have some nice escapability. It's a lot like the what class is it? The operative. Except the operative has a lot of heals. You really don't. So that's an advantage they have. But you can see there's a lot of yellow damage and white damage. It's kind of an even mixture. This guy is just dying to cap. Now, see, look at his life going back up. Here I'm just going to leave him because I hate getting drawn away from what I'm trying to defend. It's a common tactic. They pull you away from a node, and next time you turn around, somebody's capping it. Don't let them pull you away. I mean, I'm on a good team here because they're mixing it up pretty well. Oh yeah. Here we go again. Oh yeah. That was okay. Not great. But I just duck out and I'm back at it again. This chick. See, I don't like when people confuse me by wearing robes when they're supposed to be sorks and sages. She took me down, I'll give her credit. It's aggravating, but she did. And like, I've got an ability called low slash. It has a long range. It's an immobilize ability. Immobilize the target for 4 seconds, 30-yard range. I just can't. It's another ability that I just can't work in mentally and be ready to use at all times. I'm like, it's enough for me to just do the whole force slow and backstab. But yeah, these guys. To me, a fun PvP team combination, just two people, would be an assassin type class and a power tech, because they can pull guys out of the fight over to you while you backstab the crap out of them. And between your and his damage, you can single pull, literally pull, like you're playing in PvE. You could literally pull singles out of the group back to your area and then just proceed to take them down easy. This team keeps trying, though. You got to give them credit. They keep coming, even though they just cannot seem to hold it together long enough. Yeah, this is always a good feeling when you know you've got it won and you're just kind of, now you're just trying to get a little more damage and whatnot in and boost your score a little bit. So yeah, I really wasn't planning on putting up one of these melee lightsaber using type videos, but 8,700 damage crit. I started playing and I was enjoying it so much I was like, alright, I gotta make a video. And it's cool. I mean, these guys, it's a different mentality for me because I always prefer ranged, but man, when you get some backstabs in there, the whole effect, it's good. It's good. So I recommend it to more advanced players, players who maybe look down at on MMOs and say, oh, they're not, doesn't take any skill, blah 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 blah. They're simple, blah blah. Try playing one of these classes and play it well. Assassin or Jedi Shadow. See how good you do. Um, I need to get around to watching some really good assassin videos because I'm sure there's a lot I can learn from it. But anyway, yeah, not too great of a score, but hey, it was fun. Anyway, thanks for watching.